Hello, hi Swati.
Hi. Um,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So we can start, right? You're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, okay. So could you please tell me about yourself, about your experience and what are all technology you are working currently?
Okay, so basically, I have been working as a full stack developer, and I have a more experience in the front end as well. And I'm strong working with the Java backend technologies, and I have worked with some front end technologies. More actually than the React and Angular. So I'm basically working with Java 1.8 and Java 11, Java 17. I've worked on these. So and I've worked on the Spring framework. In Spring, I have worked with the Spring Boot, with the microservice based architecture, and I have worked with the Spring Core MVC architecture. So basically, I worked on the SOAP and REST based web services as well. So so these are so these services for the consumers and as a service provider, I have used them. So I have worked with the Oracle databases on the database side, and NoSQL databases as well, and others are like MySQL, MS SQL servers also have the ones which I've worked on, and worked on MongoDB, DynamoDB as well. So yeah, so many things,
Okay,
and yeah, and I have also worked on NoSQL. I think I told that already. So I'm working with the AWS too, Amazon Web Services. So when it comes to the front end part, I have started with the JavaScript in my initial projects back in India, and so later on I have worked on the TypeScript and as usual HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and I have worked on most of the versions of the Angular, from the Angular JS, Angular 2, and I've worked until 15, Angular version 15. So, and I have worked on the React 15 and 16 as well. And I worked with the Apache Kafka also, as well as ActiveMQ. Um, yes.
okay, yeah, good. So yeah, so can you tell me about your current project architecture?
So, in my current project in Southwest, basically, I have um, like microservices based architecture for the backend, and we are migrating from the monolithic to the microservices based architecture, and we are also working on the contact repository application. So we have maintained some contact information, and we have also we also can maintain the campaign management information and all. So we can do the notification service of the this application basically. We also involved in um, documenting the API specification using Swagger UI, and I get involved in writing the controllers, and writing the services, and defining JPA models, and writing the repositories, writing test cases as well using the JUnit and um, Mockito framework.
Okay. So in this microservices, multiple microservices is running in the distributed environment. Okay,
Mhm.
and one microservices want to communicate with other microservices. So in that case, how that particular microservices will find the address of other microservices?
Um, we have like two types of communication, I would say. Um, like we use both synchronous communication as well as the event-driven communication. Um, for asynchronous communication. So we are using like like a service discovery name, I would say. So we register that using the service discovery with the help of that we communicate with other microservice. So, but in case of the event-driven communication, um, we are using the Apache Kafka. So to handle the events from like from one microservice to the another microservice. So to provide the distributed transactions.
Okay. So this discovery server you said, which discovery server you have used?
Um, we have used like the Reka service discovery, as well as I have worked on like the UTC service discovery as a part of my project.
Okay. So this communications you said you have used this one like using the Kafka and using the you said other method. So apart from that, do you know any other method to communicate between different microservices?
Um, so so basically, the like I have used the Kafka, and you know that is what we that is what I have used. I don't remember using anything
Yeah,
else.
Kafka is yeah. So Kafka you said it is for asynchronous communications. If we required in some cases we also required synchronous communications. So for that, which method you have used?
Um, for the synchronous communication, we are using the REST template, as well as we are using the uh, the web client to communicate with other microservice.
Okay, okay. So what are all design pattern you have used in the microservices?
Um, Design patterns are like the service discovery patterns. Like we are using like a circuit break pattern. um, we when we work with like one microservice to another microservice, to handle the follower scenarios, and as well as like we are using um, the saga design pattern that basically provides the distributed transactions. And we we are using the command and the the query responsibility segregation patterns to basically segregate the command and the query activities. So it basically makes our application more scalable.
Okay. So in this saga, there are two types of saga design pattern. Do you know that one?
um yeah, so one is for orchestration mechanism, and one more way is to one more way is to use a choreography to handle the events from one microservice to the another microservice.
Okay. So how you are monitoring all these microservices, the monitoring and all these metrics is for the microservices.
uh, so okay, for monitoring purpose, we are using different monitoring tools, like Splunk. So
Hmm.
for logging the events and logging and monitoring purposes, and we are also using the Datadog dashboard, that gives you a lot of information, metrics, and the real time log events. You can check with that. And we are also using the Kibana dashboard, mainly like we are using the Splunk and Splunk and the Datadog, and we are also using the Kibana dashboard. In addition, like we are using the Spring Actuator endpoints. With that,
Mhm.
with the help of that, like we can get the health of the application and different kind of metrics with that.
Okay. So are this all these microservices is running on the cloud or on premises?
So these are actually running on the cloud.
Okay, which cloud?
It's running on the AWS.
Okay, so it is in the Kubernetes, or you are using the how it is well, deploying on the AWS? Are you using the EKS service?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you know this EKS service in the AWS?
Yes.
So what is that?
Um, you asked for EQS, right? Okay.
EKS. Yeah.
Okay. So we we are using the EKS in the AWS basically for deploying the application, into the cloud, and basically for launching and using it over there. So for for launching the application, you use the continuous integration development, right? So we are also using the Jenkins pipeline for the deployment purposes. Um, so CI/CD process basically. So for the deployment, CI
Mhm.
for building the pipeline, and CD for the deployment to the cloud. So we are also using the we are also we are also using this EKS. This that's what you asked for, like
Mhm.
Elastic Kubernetes service. So that is a place where we deploy our application as a part of EKS. It gets automated by using the Jenkins along with the code deployment purpose.
Okay. So what is the difference between ECS and EKS?
Um, so um, so EKS is basically for deploying of our application, and like okay, so if you want to check with the serverless architecture, that is where we can go with the ECS, the Elastic Container Service, right? So if you want to manage the Kubernetes cluster, that is where you use the EKS.
Okay. So you said in your project you are migrating from monolithic to microservices architecture. So which approach you are following in that case? How you are doing the migration from monolithic to microservices architecture?
Okay, so yeah, so we are migrating to the monolithic architecture. Like we um, we are using the domain driven design architecture, as well as like we are maintaining the bounded context for each microservice level, so that we have segregated our monolithic application in the microservice
Mhm.
based architecture.
Okay. So do you know this any design pattern that we can use for when we are migrating from monolithic to microservices? Do you know any design pattern that we can use?
Yes. So I think I mentioned that we have used the factor design principles that we have used to build the microservice based architecture. So we have used the 12 factor design principles.
So do you know this strangler design pattern?
Sorry, which one?
Strangler design pattern. Did you heard that?
A strangler. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have heard about that. So that is one more way of segregating the microservices, right? So basically, I can say like that. So it's a design pattern like where it can tell you, like where we can have a monolithic application that will identify two different types of components. So where we can create a service, and where we can create a strangler application, right? um,
Mhm.
so it's we can actually make like small sub services with that. So this is also like one more way where we can build the microservices in the project, and like we can use a domain driven architecture with that.
Okay, okay. So in DB side, you have exposure in both, correct? This one RDBMS and the NoSQL. So do you know
Yes.
the properties of RDBMS? What is the properties of RDBMS?
So the properties, yes, the properties of DBMS are like, um, is basically the relational. It's basically to maintain the relational data,
Mhm.
and we are going to follow like a consistency availability of the data, and
Mhm.
durability of the data, and where we have more relational data. So
Mhm.
if you want to do like standard schema, and if you have a data constraint, that is where we go for the SQL databases.
Okay. So do you know this acid properties, correct? Acid
Yes.
properties of
Yeah.
RDB plus. So in
Yeah.
that there's this consistency. So suppose we are having the scalable database and we have done the horizontally scale we have done. So how we can achieve the consistency in that case?
So the asset property is the one which helps to maintain the relational data, to follow the consistency and all. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I have maintained the consistency with the
Okay, so
asset.
in horizontal scaling, how it will we maintain the consistency when we are doing the horizontal scaling? Do you know horizontal scaling?
Yes.
What is that?
Uh, so that is so it is basically to maintain some kind of replica mechanism. That is why we need to maintain as a part of horizontal scaling.
So what is the difference between horizontal scaling and vertical scaling?
You see, normally in these SQL databases, we can achieve vertical scaling. We cannot we are not able to achieve the horizontal scaling in the SQL databases. But if we go with the no SQL databases, there you can
Mhm.
maintain the horizontal scaling.
Okay, so which database we should use to achieve the this horizontal scaling and consistency basically? So which database we can use?
That is the RDBMS.
No, you said no. In this, we want to do horizontal scaling also. So in that case, which database will be suitable?
Um, in that case, like we can go with the NoSQL databases.
So which yeah, in NoSQL also, which one we have to go? So there are you said MongoDB is one. Do you know any other one? Any other? You said other
Yeah, like
also,
I
Sandras
would
and
recommend MongoDB, and we can also use the DynamoDB. We can
so
even
what is
use
the
the
difference between this MongoDB and DynamoDB? And if we are achieving like I said in the horizontal scaling and I want to achieve the consistency, So which one we have to use?
for achieving the horizontal scaling.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I would go with the if we go with the DynamoDB.
Mhm.
It is like a cloud native database, like that is used to maintain the data in the form of a key value pair. So that
Mhm.
is all, like we can provide the cloud infrastructure and across the multi-region deployments.
Okay. So this one, do you know what is the difference between the Cassandras and MongoDBs?
Mm, yes, like Cassandra is also a different database. Like we have MongoDB, we have DynamoDB, and Cassandra is also the one which I would recommend actually. So it's more of NoSQL database, and in that one also, like you will be able to do more of maintaining the data. So in that one, like if we want the data in the rows and the columns demerged, like a traditional way, like similar to the traditional database, then you can go for the Cassandra.
Okay. So we will. So now we will move in the next part of the interview. Okay. So I will
Mhm.
give you one problems in Java. You have to write just code for that particular problems. So you can use any ID tools, online ID, Java ID tools. Okay, and you can start sharing your the screen. So there is one in the taskbar. You can see arrow button. Okay,
Okay.
you can start sharing your the screen and use any ID tools, any online Java ID tools.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to see it. Okay.
Oh, you can see it, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just putting in the chat. So I just put this.
The palindrome program in Java, right?
Yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. So you know the palindrome, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Basically, like the characters like which we are going to have should be the same the other side too.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think it's working fine. So basically, like if you see in the snippet, I've taken like two positions. One is a starting position and one is a last position.
Mhm.
I'm just like trying to compare both these positions. So we I'm just trying to increment it and see if it is just comparing the characters, and I'm just incrementing it and see. And I'm also doing the decrement, and basically if it returns false, then it is not a palindrome. If it returns true, then it is a palindrome.
Okay. So just long string instead of AAB. You can add one more.
Yeah.
Just try this one. And in the false also you can give. Yeah, just try.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is working.
Okay.
Yeah, we can also give the digit, correct? Like 1 to 1 or something. Can you give 1 to 1 in the in place of madam?
Mm-hmm.
1 to 1 in the madam 1 to 1.
Madam. Okay. uh,
True, true. Yeah, this is okay.
you want me to change it in the madam as well?
No, no, yeah, this is fine. So both are, yeah, you can add some more 1 to 156 like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mm, okay, just on it. Okay, yeah, this is okay. I think this is okay. Okay,
Yep.
so this is okay. Now, so you have also exposure on the front end side, correct? React, you
Yes.
said you worked on the
Yeah.
React side.
Yep.
Now you can stop sharing this one, and I will just have some more. Okay, so in the React, so what are the all good practices we have to do so that our code is fast? Basically our performance of that particular page is fast. So can you tell me some two three good practices that we have to follow when writing the code, the React?
um I follow a couple of things. I normally create reusable components, basically reusable functions, and so that you don't have to write the same set of codes repeatedly. And the other thing what do is rely on lazy loading mechanism. So in that one, like whenever the function or the component is needed, then only you're trying to load it. And I also um, rely on the server side rendering, and sometimes like I do like a service of pagination, and like there are different ways to improve the overall performance of the application. um, we also did some
Okay,
troubleshooting to improve
right,
the
yeah,
performance.
server side rendering. What do you mean by server side rendering?
So in the server side rendering, like you just um, render the data on demand, like rendering the complete template in the front end. Like you'll try to make some service, like for example the Node.js. You I use the Node.js to render the HTML JSP, and that will render the HTML in the browser without rendering the data itself. So that is what I call as a server side implementation.
And client side. So what is the then client side rendering?
So client side rendering is like when we navigate from one component to another component without loading all the modules. Like you just try to get the specific modules at runtime. We'll try to load only these specific modules
Mhm.
at the runtime.
Okay, so which tool you have used for unit testing in the React?
In the React, I have used the Jest framework.
Okay, and Java?
In the Java, I have used the JUnit and Mockito framework.
Okay. So how you are doing the this performance testing in the React or yeah in the Java?
Um, the performance tests, basically I do with the JMeter. With the help of that, like, you'll be able to find, you know, do get the performance of the application.
But in the React, how we will do? Okay, JMeter you are using for React or Java?
JMeter I'm using for the Java. For the React, like, we use like React profilers. Like, we have different tools. Um, Basically, we use mostly on the Java side. For the React, like, I just use the React profilers. Not anything other than that.
Okay. So do you know this non what or this non-functional requirement basically? What do you mean by non-functional requirement?
uh, Non-functional requirement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we do the performance testing as a part of the non-functional requirement. Like, um, we also do the security verifications. So
Mm.
basically, like it's like a sanitation testing. So we wanted to do the if we wanted, we also can do the load testing, as well as, like, we if we wanted to do like a reliability testing, um,
Mm.
then um, and yeah, like, so for basically for these purposes, like, we use, um, as a part of the non-functional requirement, we can do the performance testing and, security verifications and stuff.
Okay. Okay. So I've done Swati. So do you have any questions from me?
um, so I would like to know more about the tech stack of the project. So do you know about that?
Yeah. So this is basically the lead full stack developer role. Okay, that will
Hmm.
contain like front end side, Angular, React, and back end side like Spring Boot, Java microservices, and similarly for the DB side is also the person should have very good on the SQL as well as the no SQL. So, and the
Okay.
with cloud knowledge. So this is the full stack lead full stack developer role. That person should be very strong technically and take the decision on the architecture side and handle the technical team and guide to the teams basically technically. So whenever the challenges team is facing, so that is the role basically. I hope you already received the JD, correct?
Yeah, I saw the JD.
And you know the client also. You this is for UST, I think, global, correct?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And how large is the team, and how much is the progress of the project? What project are you
Yeah,
guys
that I
working?
think that you will get to know in the next round. Basis on this
Okay.
feedback. Okay, you will get the call
Okay.
based on this feedback. Okay.
Sure, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Ati. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.